everybody, welcome to the Man of Leek. I'm John as always, and it's time for League Update number 6. If this is your first League Update, you should probably go back and start at number 1 and then make your way up here so that you don't kind of be completely lost. So the link for video 1 is going to be right there in the top right hand corner, so make sure that you click on over there if you do want to get kind of the full recap of how this league has gone. But this is my paper league that I'm playing at my local game store. So here's the deck as we left it. I was feeling pretty confident with the Arab Falconwrath number 2, the Incorrigible Youths, and the Sinprodder being added. I felt that really kind of brought the deck together. So I jumped into my matches without any further changes. Up first, I was up against Doug, who was playing Black-Red, who has beat me week in, week out. I was trying to finally beat him this time. Game 1, he only had a few creatures down, definitely not enough to threaten the dreaded Magmatic Chasm, and I was able to keep the board pretty clear and wrap it up kind of quickly. Game 2 followed the same suit, but not before I took around 10 damage over the course of the game, but then I did manage to stabilize, no Magmatic Chasm came down, and no board of just disgustingly large number of creatures happened. So I took that down in 2, and I was 1-0. Up against Steve, first time I was playing Steve this league. He's playing green-white. Game 1, he kept a no plains hand, and never drew one until very late in the game with a hand full of white cards. So I finished that one off pretty quickly once I cleared off a few green threats. Game 2, he flooded pretty hard, drawing something like 6 or 7 lands in a row, and I put that one away relatively fast. Match 3, I'm 2-0, going up against Dan again. Game 1 went fairly quick with me getting Sorin on curve and just clearing the board to get through. Game 2, I flooded pretty hard and went all the way down to 1 life. Top decked to Sorin, cast him, -5, killed off the creature that was causing me some trouble, gained me my life back, and totally stabilized me. And let me take that match in 2. So I was 3-0, feeling really good, hoping to make it a 4-0 week. Went up against Laura, who is also playing green-white and is currently, I think she was 2nd or 3rd going into this week in the entire league. Game 1, I totally flooded out and was run over completely by a constantly growing tireless tracker. Not fun. Game 2, I remembered that she has an Avacyn in her deck and started to become even more worried, but I lived the dream and went turn 2 Arab Falconwrath into a turn 3 Incorrigible Youths, and I ended that game somewhere around turn 5. I had removal to back it up. Really gross hand, kind of the best my deck could possibly do. Game 3 was much more problematic. Thankfully, Avacyn did not come down, but Always Watching did, as did Veteran Cathar, with enough mana on board that I just couldn't deal with it. A couple of things were going to potentially get double strike, and I just crumbled in that one. So I lost that one in 3, making it a 3-1 week, which isn't too shabby, and I think should guarantee me a spot in the top 10 playoffs. So once that was finished up, I went on up to the counter and bought myself the pack for this week. I didn't even really need it. I can't think of many things that I'm really looking for that would actually make it into my deck. But I bought it back for fun, and it helps this update video be interesting, and, you know, it's a pack. I don't buy packs very often anyways. So I opened up the pack, and I found not too much. Not Forgotten, Survived the Night, Just the Wind, Silent Observer, Stitchwing Scab, Equestrian Skill, Might Beyond Reason, and Warped Landscape, all cards that I'm probably not really going to play. In my colors, Black-Red, we've got a Stromkirk Mentor that I won't play, a Macabre Waltz that I won't play, a Pyre Hound that I won't play, a Convicted Killer that I won't play, and a Geese's Bidding that maybe I'll play. I don't think there's a spot for it in my deck, unfortunately. The card quality is just so much higher. But you might notice there's a rare missing. There's no rare in this picture here that you're looking at. And for those of you who have been following around, you know that I have a, let's say, ridiculous number of mythics in my pool. I have a Sorin, I have a Nahiri, I have a Gitrog Monster, a Sigarda, a Wolf of Devil's Breach. Many of my other rares are on color. And I opened another mythic this week. It was Sorin number 2. So my league pool now has 2 Sorins and a Nahiri in it. This Sorin, I don't think I can even justify playing it, unfortunately, but I'll talk about that in just a minute. But yeah, it was a great pack. It was a great pack to get my 3rd Planeswalker in this sealed pool. I don't know if that's ever happened to anybody in any leagues that we've done, including things like Origins League or M15 League, where there were, 5 Planeswalkers in the set. But yeah, pretty good pack. We'll see if anything makes it in. So here we are back to the deck as is, and I just don't know if I can justify putting in anything. Sorin doesn't really have a spot. He's expensive, he's my splash color. I just don't think there's anything that I would replace. I definitely would not replace the Used or the Wolf or the Tormentor or the Duelists. And at that point, we're starting to get into my low drops that I really, really, really need in order to handle a lot of the aggro decks that are in the format. So I just don't think there's a justifiable way of putting another Sorin in. I would probably have to put in another Plains as well. I'm currently playing the Forsaken Sanctuary in 2 Plains for my Nahiri and my Sorin. I wish I could. I wish I could play 3 Planeswalkers in my deck, but I don't quite think I can justify it. So Sorin number 2 is going to stick around in the sideboard. Geese's Bidding as well. I don't know what I could do with it. I could replace a Fiend or one of the Fiends or a Rancid Rats for the Geese's Bidding, but that's replacing a 2-drop with a 4-drop. 3-drop if I can discard it, but a 4-drop otherwise, and that's just going to get me run over in this league. There's a lot of green-white aggro, there's a lot of red-black aggro, and being too slow would just be massively problematic. So ultimately, I don't think there's going to be any changes to the deck this week. I think this is the deck that I'm going to take into the final week of League. And going into the final week of League, here are the standings. You can see a lot of stability in the top 4, a lot of stability in the bottom 5 or so, and everybody in between kind of jumped around a whole lot. I managed to gain a spot, although it was off the back of Sean D, who simply didn't get his matches in this week. If he wins 1 match, I will drop back down to 6th. But at 45 points, I should guarantee myself a spot in the top 10. If I do not win any of my matches and everybody in 11th through 16th wins all of their matches next week, then I could potentially be in a problematic situation. But I don't think that's going to happen, and I expect to win at least 1 game with this with this deck. I don't think it should be too bad. So that will put me into the playoffs on the weekend. So you can expect another League update relatively soon. It will be probably Wednesday night or Thursday afternoon. That will recap week 6, the final week of League. And then this Saturday, we'll be playing the top 10 playoffs. So I'll go over how the top 10 playoffs will work in the next update video, and then sometime this weekend, early next week, I will have a recap of the playoffs and how those went. But yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying these League update videos. I'm really enjoying playing them. They're super fun. I know a couple people have asked me for the rules. I'm going to get you YouTube messages sent out with those rules for the league, so that you can hopefully run your own with your friends or at your local store or wherever. But as always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can find me on Twitter at the Mana Leek. That's Leek, like the vegetable, not the card. You can also find me on Facebook at facebook.com/themanaleek and on Twitch at twitch.tv/themanaleek. You've already found me here on YouTube. Please make use of the comment section down below. Click that thumbs up icon and subscribe if you enjoy my videos. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, see y'all next time.